behind the scenes, perhaps
Right.
at an administration level, whereby he's got punted and they brought in cranky Frankie Endicott. So apart from that, mate, and the fact that I've read that they might be available for the Tier 1 teams again, so yeah, no, bugger them.
What?
They made their on it.
So what's that got to do? I mean, what's that going to do for Tonga Rugby League, especially for the future there, Reno?
Yeah, well, I hope it doesn't turn it up to turmoil because, look, the last few years since the World Cup 2017, mate, they've been the pride and joy of the game. Look at the fans that turned up. You didn't see that sea of red at the rugby game last weekend, which was disappointing, by the way.
Yeah.
But what they've done for the game and done for the nation and the pride and everything, I hope it stays together, mate, because, look, yeah, they got a lot going for them, mate.
Yeah.
Can I just say, take that to that other JT, Jason Tomololo. I mean, that's what happens when you jump ship.
True.
But Oren's right. I mean, the Tongan fans, they're huge. They're fantastic. And you need that in the game, any sport. And, man, they come out in force and, fantastic to see.
Do you think that that other JT had something to do with the revolt itself there, Raa?
Well, who knows? I mean, didn't he sort of originally sort of jump ship and all that sort of carry on with those bunch of players? But look, that's professional sport, and rugby's hasn't exactly got a clean slate in that regard as well. So it's just the nature of the beast, and money talks, and sadly, you hand on your heart for your country as well. So it's a sign of the times, Keithy, a sign of the times.
Yeah, I guess it is. Reno, just quickly, what else has been happening around the traps there, bro?
Yeah, in regards to netball, Nolene Taurua is coming home.
Yes.
Gets through this weekend with her girl on the Sunshine Coast, and let's hope she can do this repeat and win the national title over there.
Yep.
And she wants to come back, and she'll focus on the Silver Ferns. We've got the Constellation Cup coming up. It looks like she is going to be long-term back here. She's also coming back to learn and continue the journey of her late father, Kingi Taurua. She wants to learn more about the language, and she wants to get involved. Wants her kids to learn more about the country, their home birth country, because they have a bit of an Aussie twang going at the moment.
Yep.
So that's what's happening on the netball scene. One of the biggest motorsport events, if not the biggest here in Aotearoa, is up at Pukekohe. Huge crowd. I was up there yesterday, 50-odd thousand rocked on up just for the practice day. They estimate 90 to 110,000 over the whole 3 days. So the V8s are in town. The Kiwi boys are dominating there, and mate, this is huge. $140 I was telling you for a ticket.
Yeah.
You work that out. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
That's about that part of it. Sir Graham Henry and Richie McCaw will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Huh. Okay.
So
Rugby Hall of Fame.
The big names that have been iconic with the game of rugby will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So some big news coming through on that.
Well deserved too, I must say. Awesome stuff. Well,
in Thames Valley down at Oamaru, north of Otago today, boys.
Oh, right, true. I had almost forgotten all about the Heartland Rugby because how have your boys been going of late there, JT? Reno?
Yeah, had a loss to Poverty Bay, your team, and then last week hammered the Coasties, and they had a win against Whanganui, so it will be tough down there in the south up against North Otago. They've done it there before. They beat them to get to the final down there, and see what happened.
Yeah, of course, that's right. They had a win over, the Coast. Your team, the East Coast, your team, JT, just not quite firing yet, eh, bro?
Well, you can say yet, but what round are we in? Round 3, round 4? I'm playing at Tukamari Bay today, so hopefully the boys, show some continued improvement, and the likes of old crayfish man Zach Guilford can inspire the boys to get a win. At Tawhiwhirangi Domain in Tukamari Bay. There you go.
Poverty Bay have got...
Well, JD, that nickname for Zach might catch on, crayfish man. I mean, that's a good title to call him. Keithy, in aviation sport, aircraft fans will be disappointed with the Red Bull Air Race. I think it's been in its 13th season, has now been cancelled, and it's all down to sponsorship and money.
Right.
So it's quite an expensive sport to participate in. They compete in about 13, 14 countries countries all around the world. Yeah. But sadly, the audience numbers aren't dwindling. Yeah. And I know what it is. They need to get some jets involved in that aviation sport, not those little crappy kind of monoplanes that they use. It looks like something that you use in a radio RC control cassette sort of toy thing. So, yeah, sad for aviation fans.
Okay. Well, we move on to what is classed as my favourite part of the show. The part where we get rid of our angst that has been built up over the week. A part that we call Put the Boot In! My Put the Boot In is going out to the person that said that we should have a Te Wiki or Te Reo Maori, 1 week of Te Reo Maori. I think that's just silly. It should be way longer than a week. It shouldn't even be. It should be almost every single day. Anyway, so there we go. That's my Put the Boot In!
Yeah, my boot's going into the success of past governments. What's taken so long to make New Zealand history compulsory in our schools, in our education system? You'd think that would have been there from day dot. I mean, what have the kids been learning about how the country, has lived the last few centuries? So that's good to see. My boot's going into those past governments that didn't really sort of, push it like how they have now.
Put the boot in!
Yeah, my Put the Boot In goes into the traffic once again, mate. I was in Hamilton, I was in Auckland, especially going to events. That traffic's just diabolical. That city, I touched on it last week, 1.45 million, 2 bloody stupid lanes. Mate, they need to sort that out. So whoever runs that kind of situation when it comes to traffic flow and the road conditions, I'll put the boot into them because they're not doing their job in my books.
Put the boot in!
Yeah, my Put the Boot In goes to a couple of Air New Zealand pilots, or perhaps it was the same pilot when we flew domestic from Auckland to Gisborne and the return leg about a week later. Both times, apparently, we flew over Manukau Harbour. That disgusts me no end. It was Te Wiki, Te Wiki or Te Reo Maori back home, and here's these two knuckleheads calling it Manukau Harbour, when the lovely little Scottish air hostess, we hopped off the plane and she said, "Ma te wā." That's my Put the Boot In, boys.
Put the boot in! Manukau Harbour, yes.
That's about as good as Waikato.
They've got an excuse key.
Absolutely. Anyway, I tell you what, the traffic, man, that traffic in Auckland is just ridiculous, isn't it, Reno? Just ridiculous.
Look, I was down there in South Island in May, down there holiday, and traffic flow down there, even though, yes, I know they don't have the population like we do up here, but they do have 1 million people down there. It was smooth there.
Yeah.
No issues. You get up to that. A lot of people hate going to Auckland because of the dumb traffic.
I hate it. I do. I hate it.
They hate it when they find they're going to go to Auckland and they try and think of the best BS they cannot go.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sick. Oh, someone's not well. You got to do it because you don't want to get in that stink traffic.
Yeah. That traffic sucks. Honestly.
It sucks, man.
It sucks. Yeah. I think it's the way. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is. Whether it's the lanes, whether they've got to make more lanes. I don't know. I mean,
what it is, Keithy, is there's too many people. That's what it is. Too many people means too many cars on the road, which leads to all those traffic congestion issues. So
I agree. So you'll put the boot in there, Raa. That is so on point, I reckon. Finally, after all this time, we get a bloomin', New Zealand history. Because I remember taking history at high school. I learnt about Coolidge, which was one of the bloomin' presidents over in the United States. I learnt about Queen Victoria and all that stuff. That was our subjects back in those days in history. So it was just absolute rubbish, bro?
Well, what I like about Keithy, it's a stepping stone because, hopefully our reo will be next in terms of being made compulsory because apparently they did a survey during Te Wiki or Te Reo Maori and apparently and it's bad, it's quite a bad number, 81% of New Zealanders aren't interested in learning the reo. But now that, our history will be taught, there'll be more of an affinity with the native, the local culture and cultures. So hopefully that'll be a stepping stone to, push for the language because it's a no-brainer. We don't want to wait another 100 years before, every new Kiwi speaking the language of this country. It's ridiculous. It'd be like our history.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, that pretty much is us here on Full Time. Thanks once again, Raa. We'll be great as always. Wonderful to catch up with you on a Saturday morning, bro.
Oh, thanks, Captain Keithy, and to the boys, always entertaining and informative, and a bit of a laugh. And, of course, most of the country, we're counting down, 6 days away from the World Cup, and kick-off on Friday night, I believe. So go the ABs.
Japan and Russia. That's the
first and the Russian Bears, I've never seen that team, so that should be interesting.
Reno, always a pleasure to catch up with you, bro. You enjoy the rest of the weekend, even though I know for you it's going to be a busy one, eh?
Yeah, down here at the moment, mate, making my way to it. It's the big day. It's the Pidal Vintage Classic Car Show. We had the silent movie last night. We've got the Coromandel Cruise. We've got all nostalgia. Look, we've got the original Rob Muldoon car that used to travel him around when he was the Prime Minister of the country all those years gone by. So, yeah, big day, mate. Another big day tomorrow in the town, but be safe out there, whānau, and enjoy.
JT, awesome to catch up with you, bro. You enjoy the rest of the weekend too, eh?
Ai, ngā mihi aroha atu kia kata katoa, I tēnei ahi hei. Kia kaha te tima o Tawhiwhirangi, go the storm.
Whakarongo ki te reo irirangi a Turanga Nui a Kiwa. Te reo o te iwi.
Turanga FM.